Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. A couple of minutes late because I did my meditation before for once. Yay me. So we have a card. Good morning, Joniel. You're the first one popping on today. Glad you're here. We have a card from the Wild Harmonic deck by Gabrielle J. Maryhugh. Good morning, Gwen. Welcome. Welcome. Everybody's starting to roll in. Good morning, Cindy. Welcome. Glad you're all here. And this is an interesting card. Good morning, Janine. Glad you're here. Awesome. So I've said hi to 4 of you, and my little counter's only at 2. So technology is working well today. We'll see how this goes. But the gist of this card in this deck. Good morning, Ruth Ann. Welcome. Haven't seen you in a bit. Glad you're here. The gist of this deck is there's a section of them. It does earth, wind, air, earth, air, water, fire. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. And a variety of other things. But it also has a shadow section. And so the shadow section is what we are dwelling in today. And again, if you're not familiar with shadow work, good morning, Linda. Good morning, Peggy. Welcome. The gist of it is these are the dark sides, the things that we don't like to acknowledge about ourselves, the things we push away, but they're out there in the shadows operating. Good morning, Abigail. So this is an opportunity to bring one of those shadow aspects into the light so you can decide what you really want to do about it. So the card is the Spirit of Shadow, and it's called Star-Crossed. And here's what it looks like, Star-Crossed. And when you think about that, you think about the people who, and it might be some of us, never say it's you, it's not me, where we go, well, yeah, but that always happens to me, or I can't ever get that to work, or I'm just not destined for whatever it is, right? So when we are kind of shooting our own selves in the foot. So let's do some breaths because we really want to be in a place of openness to look at this stuff so that it's not operating in the shadows. We bring it into the light so we can do something with it. So nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Opening to receiving this message, in through the nose, out through the mouth, stepping firmly into our curious observer, in through the nose, out through the mouth. I wonder what this has to teach us. All right, let's start from there. Spirit of Shadow, Star-Crossed. As the spirit of creativity falls into denial, it creates shadow synchronicity. The meditation. Negative reinforcement is the name of the game. So first of all, let me explain negative reinforcement because everybody gets it wrong. Negative reinforcement is not punishment. They are two different things. Punishment is applying something negative to get a behavior to decrease. Negative reinforcement is taking away something negative to get a behavior to increase. I will stop hitting you if you move. That's negative reinforcement, all right? On the other hand, I will hit you to get you to stop doing X. Then you're using it as punishment. So it may look kind of the same, but it's very different, okay? So, negative reinforcement is the name of this game. Being a self-fulfilling prophet is a feeling of power, and using the momentum of loss to do so is both addictive and self-perpetuating. A lesson in failure is one thing, but a perspective of impossibility is the easy yet incredibly difficult way out. Good morning, Joe Bell. Good morning to those of you who have gone past as I'm reading. So basically, when we're saying, I can't do that, or this never works for me, that's when we're indulging in this kind of shadow stuff, all right? Each time I fail, I am inclined to speak out and say, see, I told you I was not valid. Good morning, Mel. Welcome. This speaking out against myself while self-defeating is a feeling of certainty that I long for in a world so uncertain. Tony Robbins talks about that there's 6 motivators, and one of them that many people choose that is really self-defeating is certainty. I'd rather be certain about something than risk stepping into what feels uncertain. And those who are very successful in our world are the ones who can tolerate uncertainty and, in fact, may seek it out, embrace it. When we get stuck in certainty, I stay in this dead-end job for 20, 30, 40 years, not risking moving up because it's familiar. I know it. There's certainty. And then you get downsized. So it's really an illusion of certainty anyway, but we like to believe it's certainty. I stay in this marriage that has not been working, has been miserable for 20 years because at least it's familiar. I know it. And then he files for divorce. So again, it's the illusion of certainty. So let me read that part again. Each time I fail, I am inclined to speak out and say, "See, I told you I was not valid." This speaking out against myself, while self-defeating, is a feeling of certainty that I long for in this world so uncertain. This makes it attractive to create new failure in order to feel even more certain. So here's the question. How can I improve my attitude or perspective in order to change my situation? First thing that comes to mind is letting go of that desire for that illusion of certainty and being willing to step into uncertainty. So let's practice a little bit today. If you can, if you're able, I'd like you to close your eyes. I'd like you to take some nice deep belly breaths. At least 3 of them. And when you get to number 3, I'd like you to go to that place in your body where certainty resides. You might just need to scan your body for a little bit to decide, where do I keep certainty? That desire for certainty might sit in your solar plexus, might sit in your throat. Where does your desire for certainty sit? And then I want you to breathe into that. Every breath you exhale, shining light on that dark corner where certainty resides. Certainty that is an illusion anyway, but it keeps us stuck in old patterns, old behaviors, things that do not serve us. And that part of you may say, yeah, but I'd rather be certain than be uncertain. Really, that illusion of certainty is just that, an illusion. Nothing is certain, and I know that scares people. But let's look at it through the lens not of fear, but the lens of curiosity, of faith, of trust. So breathe into that. I'm looking at uncertainty through the lens of faith and trust. So you can think about that. Let's think about some examples of that. Opening gifts is an example of that. You're uncertain what's in there, but you're in a state of joy because you have a present you're opening, right? That's an example of uncertainty that we enjoy. Let's find some more. Good morning, Paula. We're just doing a little guided imagery here. Closing your eyes and going within to that place where certainty, the desire for certainty, resides. What if life is also that gift that we're constantly we're opening up, we're unwrapping that gift of life every single day, and that uncertainty that is present every single day can be looked at through those lenses of faith and trust. So that even when something seemingly shitty happens, knowing on a heart and soul level, there are gifts in whatever that cruddy thing is. Okay, so I'm going to make some up for you to give your mind, which is the faithful servant of your heart and soul, some grist for its mill. Oftentimes, when someone calls me a client and says, I've been downsized, I will say, congratulations. And of course, they think I'm nuts. But that is the universe working to put you in the position to create new opportunities, to look for something different, to move yourself in a different direction. Your path is turning. It's not a bad thing. It may have come through this seemingly negative event, getting downsized, but it's opening doors. It's opening doors. Same for other things. Let's say you have a falling out with a friend or a family member. Feels negative. Where's the opportunity there? You've had a great opportunity to see where you differ. And that wasn't navigated particularly well in that particular falling out. But you can go back. Yes, fishing. Fishing's a beautiful example. I don't know if I will catch anything, but I love the water. Thrifting. You walk into St. Vinny's, you have no idea what you're going to find, if anything. But it's the thrill of the hunt, right? So here's a plethora of examples of how uncertainty is a good thing. So now expand that into some of these areas that feel a little dicier to you. Changing a job, confronting a relationship that isn't working, doing something about your clutter. All of those may feel like they're uncomfortable, too scary, can't do it, blah, blah, blah. Addressing a health issue. As long as I don't go to the doctor, nothing's wrong. No. Breathe some more into that place where you store that desire for certainty. Feel it kind of loosening up a bit. Feel it getting less packed, less dense, opening up. That desire for certainty, the illusion of certainty. Breathe into that. Shake it up a little bit. Kind of like when you've got a present and you shake it up and you want to hear what it sounds like first. Can I discern what this thing is by shaking it before I open it, right? So breathing into that place and just getting some air in there. Like Pema Chodron says, ventilating that. So we're ventilating your desire for perceived certainty. And then blow some of that away on the wind. Inhale and blow. Letting go of some of that perceived need for perceived certainty. Let it go. Let it go. Not needed. Not needed. No longer needed. Has outlived its usefulness. Stepping into a place where you're willing to look at, to hold in your hands, your curious observer hands, an uncertainty, and to allow it to be uncertain. Not rushing for answers, not rushing to make decisions, but sitting with that tension of the uncertainty of this thing. For me, this project that I'm working on at the church is a huge uncertainty. Is this going to manifest all the way through to fruition? I was at a meeting last night where we were watching a movie called The Invisible Class about people experiencing homelessness. And again, yes, exactly. Needing to change your backyard. And here's the motivator. So many things. Someone finding themselves homeless. And it happens. It happens easily. How many people are one paycheck away from disaster? Many. And oftentimes not of their own choosing. And that's the piece that I'd like to confront with a lot of people. When they see someone who's struggling with homelessness or whatever, well, get a different job. So let me share one story from a woman who presented last night. She is a community organizer. Her lived experience was being in a very tough position. Her parents and her husband's parents had utilized their children's credit to stay afloat. So by the time these young people launched, their credit had been destroyed. Wanting to be successful themselves, working low-income jobs, working hard, working several low-income jobs, having children, second child born with a defective heart, can't get on the transplant list unless you have a stable place to live because of their low income levels not having a stable place to live, going through myriad pieces of red tape, trying to get the stability of good paying jobs, the stability of a home so their son could get a heart transplant. Falling short, he died. This is what people live with. This is what people live with. So I'm willing to deal with the uncertainty of creating an affordable housing project and hitting dead ends, hitting walls. So yesterday's perceived wall was hearing from a developer that if that development company chooses this project, they apply for WIDA money next January. It gets awarded in May or may not get funded. So there's one place it can fall through the cracks. Then a year later, ground would break. And in the summer of 2027, we started this project a year ago, it would be ready for people to move in. Can you see how unwieldy this process is? Can you see how broken this system is? People need housing now. We can get you a place in 2027. Good Lord, right? So, looking for options. I pitched it to that whole room. There had to be 100 people there. Let's be creative. We've got great brain power here. How can we do this? Maybe without having to use government money that is going to make things so delayed. How do we get this thing happening now? We'll see what comes out. I'm open to receiving ideas. We'll see what happens. But again, not getting ourselves, Carolyn, that's a beautiful example. Cruddy things happening, but it then opening the door for things. Yes. And I bet if you go back, Gwen, and look at when did that affordable housing project begin? What was the inception? It's probably at least 5 years ago. Mind-boggling that it takes so long to get things done. So, what about for you? What shadow are you willing to address? Is it the staying stuck in a job? Is it the not being willing to move to a different house or even look for a different house? We'll never find anything, blah, blah, blah. Put yourself in that position of sending out the energy, the call, the beacon. I am looking for a loving relationship. I am looking for a healthy body. I am looking for a new job that feeds my soul. I am looking for a friend to do things with. Whatever it is. So I really love this card. I think this is awesome. It pokes that tender spot of the desire for perceived certainty and makes us take a look at, is there really such a thing as certainty? Am I willing to embrace uncertainty? Am I willing to move forward with my life? So I'd love to hear some more things. Put some more things in the feed. I'll go back and read them a little later and comment, and let's get ourselves working on facing this shadow, bringing it into the light, and changing it. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.